Hey everyone, it's Short Fiction Friday. This week I read two short stories, The Hairy Ones Shall Dance by Manly Wade Wellman and One Paris Night by Karl Wagner. Both of these short stories I read from The Giant Book of Werewolves. I'll start with Manly Wade Wellman, The Hairy Ones Shall Dance. This was first published under a pseudonym, Gans T. Field. It appeared in Weird Tales in 1938, serialized in 3 different issues, January, February, and March. This is quite a lengthy short story, over 60 pages. Our main character is Talbot Wills. He's a magician and skeptic, and he has a friendship and a friendly rivalry with Dr. Zoberg, who's a believer in psychic powers. And together they investigate psychic phenomenon. They always have debates back and forth. At the start of this story, Dr. Zoberg is telling Talbot Wills, "You've got to come see this psychic. She's amazing." So the psychic in question is Susan Gerd, who lives in a rural town in America with her father, Mr. Gerd. Susan Gerd is going to conduct a seance and kind of demonstrate psychic powers to Wills. During this seance, there is a werewolf attack, but only the 4 people in the room, these 4 characters, see the werewolf. Of course, this sounds crazy to everyone else, and Talbot Wills is under suspicion. The police and the townspeople think that Wills did the attack. So then through the story, Talbot Wills is on the run. He's trying to avoid the townspeople, avoid the police. He needs to clear his name, and also he has to investigate, well, who was this werewolf? Dr. Zoberg and Susan Gerd, of course, help him. They're trying to clear his name as well. And Talbot Wills also meets Judge Pursuivant, who seems to be the only reasonable person in this rural town, right? So he believes Talbot Wills too. As you might be able to tell from the setup of the story, this isn't straightforward werewolf mythology. There's some additional things going on here. So things like hypnotism and psychic abilities also play a part. It has its own unique werewolf mythology. This was quite good. It's a very pulpy story. There's a lot of action, including Talbot Wills gets into multiple fistfights with the werewolf. I quite enjoyed it. The only criticism I would have is at the end, there's a lot of expository dialogue trying to explain everything that's happened and make sense of it. But overall, I really enjoyed this. And as my first Manly Wade Wellman, I would say it was a good one. All right, the next thing I read is also in this anthology. It's One Paris Night by Karl Wagner. This short story was first published in 1992 in the anthology Grails, Quests, Visitations, and Other Occurrences. The story follows kind of an anti-hero character, Adrian Becker. He's a gunslinger. Becker and his friend Stanley Sutton are taking advantage of the chaos of war. They're making money and looting during battles between the Prussians and the Communards. So this is set in 1870. Our characters are kind of holed up in the rubble of a cathedral when suddenly they're under attack by a werewolf. To me, this read very much as a sword and sorcery type story. That's not a criticism, that I'm totally fine with that. It didn't really read like a Western or a horror story, even though Wagner's kind of taking from those genres a little bit. This was an entertaining story full of action, and at the end there is Not quite a twist, but there's a funny reveal at the end. Yeah, both these stories were good. Okay, and ranking these stories, we're going to put them on my big list. Okay, my top 15 short stories that I've read. While I did enjoy both of these stories, neither of them are going to make the top 15. But certainly I'm interested in reading both of these authors more. All right, let's pick some more short stories for next week. The way this works is very simple. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that last book corresponds to 2 numbers. The 6-sided die represents the book. The 12-sided die selects the story within the book. Okay, first roll. One and 10. Okay, so we have the Classic Westerns book, and I can't pick number 10 because, as you can see from all the pencil marks here, I've already read every story in here aside from 1. So we're finishing off this book. I'll be reading something by Clarence E. Mulford. Okay, I'm reading Buckskin by Clarence E. Mulford, and that's 9 pages. That was the last story in Classic Westerns, so I'm going to have to reorder the books now. Let's make this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to keep rolling the die until I get to at least 50 pages total. All right, second roll. 4 and 6. That's the werewolf book. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm reading The Whisperers by Hugh B. Cave, and that's 14 pages long. All right, I'm at 23 pages so far. Third roll. 6 and 7. That's Dark Love. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm reading Barbara by John Shirley, and that is 15 pages. I'm up to 38 pages so far. Fourth roll. 3 and 7. That's the werewolf book. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, I've picked The Foxes of Fascoum by Peter Tremaine, which is 22 pages long. Okay, that 22 pages takes us up over the 50-page minimum. I'll put all the selected stories up on the screen here. Go read these short stories if you can find them, and I'll see you all next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.